Hello, and thank you for lending your ears to Ratehub.ca's Real Money Talk podcast. In this show, we give you the real talk on all things money. We eliminate the fine print, we junk the jargon, and we explain how you can make smarter financial decisions. We're not millionaires, we're thousandaires, and we know you are too, so this show is for you. We want to talk about money because it affects everyone, rich and poor. Money shouldn't only be the occupation of the 1%, but rather the 99%. Avocado toast ain't the reason you're broke. Don't hold out lattes for paydays. Let's make money an everyday discussion. Thank you for tuning in to Real Money Talk. My name is Tyler, and today on the show, our guest host is Ratehub.ca's Director of Insurance, Matt Hands. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, Tyler. How's it going?
All right. Thanks for coming aboard. Our guest on the show today is a multi-award-winning car and home insurance broker. She's been selling insurance for nearly 10 years and was recently appointed the Director of Sales at Ratehub Inc.'s brand new brokerage, RH Insurance. Please welcome Morgan Roberts to the show. Hello, Morgan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Morgan. Whether you are a long-time listener or first-time listener, it's great to have you on the show. We always kick things off with a money mistake or makeup. It's important to know that even financial directors can make mistakes with their money. I'll go first. Our SodaStream broke, and I looked up how to repair it, but I didn't want to do the 47 steps to replace a part that I couldn't even find. I searched for a new one. Canadian Tire's having a sale, but in their flyer. But instead of $119, it's $79. But the sale is like quantities limited, and it opens at midnight. So I log in and got my tabs open and ready to buy, but there's no sale. So I sent an email to customer service. They said, yeah, no problem. We can give you the refund, the difference. Just you have to do it in store. So I go in store. I have to go to the order desk, the online order desk, to pick up the order. I said, I have a problem with the price discrepancy. Oh no, you got to go with customer service for that. So and then I have to go to the customer service desk, and they said, oh, well, that flyer is not for the red SodaStream. It's only for the black SodaStream. Anyway, and then so I ended up getting a black SodaStream, but I did get the $79. I only paid $79. Anyway, Matt, yourself?
Yeah, for me, I have a bad habit of shopping online for clothes, and they don't end up fitting. And you might go, okay, that's not a big deal, just return them. Well, that's the problem. I don't end up returning them half the time. I don't know if it's just the hassle of having to, get the shipping orders all online, and then sometimes you have to pay to ship it back. It's just a hassle, especially during COVID. So what usually ends up happening is my dad, who's smaller than me, or some other friends end up getting free clothes, which I think they love, but it's not the savviest and smartest decision we can.
Yeah, fair enough. My brother actually dropped off like a garbage bag full of clothes, and I essentially got a new wardrobe yesterday, so I'm feeling... And he's like, oh, no, I got to retire these things. I'm like, they're brand new. I have no shame.
I give away a lot of things with tags still on them, too.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah.
And Morgan, how about yourself? Money mistake or a makeup?
Money mistake is I talked my neighbor into doing a juice cleanse a few weeks ago. Cost $250. We were both angry, like very angry for 4 days. No food, just juice. And it cost us $250 and it did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Just anger and rage.
Anger and rage between the two of us.
Not like weight loss or more energy or anything.
No, we were a delight to be around. Yeah.
Well, and now you're eating food again, though?
For the most part.
Okay. Well, I drink
a lot of coffee.
I'm glad we got you on the show at the right time. We'll get into the questions here. I noticed on your LinkedIn profile you were a legal assistant for almost 10 years, and then you switched to the insurance side of things. And so why did you do it, and what was that process like?
Yeah, when I was a legal assistant, I lived and worked downtown Toronto. And then I got pregnant, went on maternity leave, and moved out to the suburbs. I didn't want to do the commute anymore with a small kid. And then I got pregnant again and really just decided it's best to work somewhere more local to home. So I found an insurance brokerage that was hiring for a receptionist then.
Oh, wow.
So I became a receptionist for a few years at a brokerage in Whitby. And then I made the move to another brokerage in Whitby once I got my license to start my sales career there.
Huh. Why did you?
Yeah.
So you started as a receptionist, but then you said, you know what, I can do this too.
More of they encouraged me to get licensed.
Oh, okay.
They said you might as well get licensed, see if you can see if you like it. Sales scared me because I'd never worked a commission type job or anything before. So once I got my license, I moved to the other brokerage, and they kind of made me a deal because I was terrified of going commission, that they'd give me like a base salary plus commission just to make me comfortable. And I loved sales.
Yeah.
It turned out really well. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do you think that like your time being a receptionist, so you're obviously on the phones, you're dealing with customers, do you think that made it a little bit easier to transition to sales and just, having that almost like that gift of gab, not being afraid to have a conversation?
I think it got my interest spiked in insurance, because before that I had absolutely no interest, and I learned a little bit more about policies and stuff like that. Like, I don't even think I'd ever even really looked at my policy before I started working in insurance. But definitely talking to people on the phone and stuff like that, when you are a receptionist, you do get more comfortable.
Yeah.
So it definitely helped with sales.
So, after so many years now, you've been in the game as a PNC insurance broker. What do you love about it?
Oh, I love everything about it. So absolutely everything. I find I know everybody hates insurance, but I find it's different for everybody. So Matt and Tyler, like, you both might live in the same type of house, drive the same type of car, but everyone has different needs. So everyone's a little puzzle that I get to solve on what they need for insurance. So, and then I get to educate people on what they need and what they don't need as well.
I mean, those are the hard parts. And I mean, you make it sound so easy, but insurance is a very complicated subject matter, especially the different languages that different providers use. It's not always the same, the way they've heard of it. So, you must have a lot of patience when trying to educate customers. I mean, that must be like almost like one of the top skill sets required to be a top broker.
I think knowledge is the top skill set. So when I'm talking to a client, I won't talk to them in insurance terms. I'll talk to them in what they do in their everyday life, what's in their heads, that kind of stuff. Like, if they just say they just got married, is there an engagement ring that needs to be insured? Stuff like that, like just the little things like that. And then as they talk, they realize that there are different things. Like, if they have a new baby and they're in a condo, they used to have this much contents. Well, babies come with all sorts of new things. So now they should probably up that type of stuff so that they have coverage for what they need. So then the knowledge is, you always have to keep taking courses. You always have to keep learning. And the insurance companies are always changing things. So what they will insure, what they won't insure, what they love. So you just have to make sure you know all the company's rules. And if you don't know, you have to make sure to ask. The companies are always willing to help you as well.
And that makes sense. Though I feel like it's got to be a little bit more than just knowledge, because, everybody can study, everybody can understand the subject matter, but clearly you've separated yourself from the competition. You've been awarded the top broker award a number of times. I've seen the performance at Ratehub that you are above and beyond others. I'm just curious to know if there's any trade secrets you can share.
I think just get to know the clients. I enjoy talking to them. I don't look at them as my job. I look at them as someone to talk to during the day. I love having the conversations with them. I learn so much about new people, about all different people, and it's helping them. So I've learned some people want to sit there and chat with you for an hour. They just want to tell you everything they got going on in their life. Some people, they want on the phone. They want to get what they need done and get off. And I think I've always been able to provide that service for both of them. I've been able to insure them quickly to get it done so they can just move on with their day and keep going. Or if they want to sit there and chat, I'll chat with them. I have no problem with that. I like talking to people.
Well, that makes sense.
So I think it's a personality thing. I definitely think it's a personality big portion.
That would have been my guess too. And just, the best salespeople that I've seen have that engaging personality, and that they're easy to talk to, whether it's a quick conversation or something that's you're talking to them for hours because the subject matter has just become complicated, whether you're dealing with a claim or an unhappy customer. The more engaging you can be, and the more you make them feel like you're a friend or a pal, even if it's just, a virtual experience, I think goes a long way.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's easier with the virtual world too now. because now you're not face to face. I find people are more apprehensive when they're face to face with you. If you're just chatting on the phone, they don't know what you look like. They don't know anything. They can just talk. And I think they like that better.
You were selected to head up Ratehub's own RH Insurance. So first, congratulations. Yeah. But for that person listening right now, what's the elevator pitch on why Canadians should care about their insurance? Why should Canadians spend more like an hour with you rather than just like I'm here, this is what I need, I'm done?
I think people should look at their insurance a little bit more and care a little bit more, because when something happens, whether you're in a car accident and you get seriously injured, you're going to want to make sure the coverages are there. Like, I can tell you, my home insurance, I never looked at it before. Like, until I became a broker, I never looked at it before. Then in February of 2020, my house got broken into.
Right.
Thank God I now took an interest in insurance at this point, or I would have been out a lot. Like, I would have been out a lot of money in the end with stuff that got stolen. So I think if people take an interest, you don't have to look at it every day and that kind of stuff. But just when you get something new and cool and exciting, it's a good idea to talk to your insurance broker.
So,
yeah, just make sure you're covered in case you lose it.
And I mean, that could be a car, I guess, too, right? I got a new car.
It can be yeah, definitely. You can be a car. It can be jewelry. It can be, you put a pool in, you put a hot tub in, something like that. Something that you're proud of, that you saved up your money for. You want to make sure that it's going to be protected in the end.
My a neighbor across the street actually recently, it wasn't at her house, but it's the attached house to hers, and her house caught fire because the attached house caught fire, and she lost everything. And she was a tenant, and she said, "Why do I need tenant insurance?" So, and now she's got to pay to live elsewhere. Her landlord, she's worked out a deal with the landlord the landlord's going to allow her back in once the renovations are complete. No increases to the rent, but now she's got to manage that whole moving around. So there's a lot of support from the neighborhood. There was a GoFundMe campaign. There was all this kind of stuff set up. So, I like, to your point, it's like Canadians aren't hands-on enough when it comes to their insurance. And is it because they just don't understand the repercussions, or what else? Why might that be?
Because I think the way insurance has always been pitched has always been boring. It's always been super boring. It's been, if you've ever read your policy, it's horribly complicated, and we get clients that get the paperwork and then they call and they ask us to explain it. So I think that helps you. Those people are starting to take a bit more of an interest. With the tenants insurance, those ones always scare me. When you hear on the news that an apartment building burned down and all these people are living in like a civic center now, if they have insurance, you don't have to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I do not want to live. Yeah. And I don't want to stay with my friends. I don't want to stay with my family. I want like a hotel or something, just somewhere on my own. But I think people just find it's just a tedious bill that you pay every month, and you just hope to God nothing happens. But it's when something happens.
The thing with tenant that always surprises me is that it's so inexpensive for the amount of coverage you can get. It's almost so like cheap. I just wish.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but you almost wish like the government would just step in and just say like, hey, everyone has to have tenant insurance. Just remove that, remove that option from the equation, because it feels like right now people are like, I don't want to spend $18 to $20, or they have the perception it's going to be much higher. Like they don't even look into it. I'm shocked at how I think there was a stat recently that came out, and I know I'm going to butcher this, but I think it was less than 50% of people have tenant insurance. And it's kind of like, wow, like how are there so many people out there that don't have it? I know a lot of landlords are changing a little bit now and starting to enforce that and say that they won't rent it to you unless you have tenant insurance, which I think is fair on their part, and it's there to protect the tenant themselves. Because there is this perception, but that I've heard from a number of tenants that think that they're covered under their landlord's insurance, which I know you can attest is 100% not true.
Not true.
But do you ever
I find what's scary with tenants is when people do get it and they get 10 grand worth of insurance. Walk around your house, like just pick the square footage, just replace your clothing. Just your clothing, and you got to think, if it's summer, you got to replace your summer, fall, winter, and spring clothing. That's over 10 grand. Like if you just add up one room and you've only got 10 grand insured, you're not getting very far. Like you have to replace your dishes, all your toiletries, and if you have makeup, you're going to kill through that pretty quick. Like,
I don't have
it gets expensive. Yeah. 10 grand's not, but 10 grand is not very much. Like, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. And people underinsure themselves with tenants.
So, like,
constantly.
is there like a formula you use with like your customers to help them, calculate their contents insurance?
I have found if you go about 5 grand per room, and then if one of the rooms has little kids in it that have toys or cribs or baby stuff, add a little bit more on. But I find about 5 grand per room it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it'll at least get you something.
Because tenant insurance does pay for the additional living expenses for you to live elsewhere after something bad happens. Yeah.
Yes, it'll put you up, but you just have to replace all your stuff. So that adds up because the stuff that you're purchasing it with, right? You're not buying it at the same prices that you did if you bought your clothes 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Everything's gone up in value.
Hello, inflation.
So it gets more expensive. Yeah. So you got to take that into consideration.
Fair.
Yeah.
And
like I've got a huge shoe collection and it's expensive. Like, but people don't look at that. They're like, oh, I could spend this. You're like, replace them all. It's very expensive.
No, I know that. I mean, I don't have the shoe collection, but I've invested my money in other things like electronics. So yeah, I probably should even update my own contents coverage because over time I've the 4 years I've been living in this place, I've kind of added to it, and I just have. It's just,
you've added
I know we were talking about, and I have a couple questions I want to touch on this, but just kind of going back to what Tyler said, like we're not very hands-on. It's so funny that I find in Canada that we will nickel and dime and complain and we'll switch providers regularly when it comes to like our cell phones. Like how many times have you known somebody that's gone like, oh, I've gone to Bell, now I'm going back to Rogers, I'm on TELUS, I'm on Koodo, I'm getting all these better deals. Half the time you're still with the same company because, Bell and Virgin the same network, TELUS and Koodo the same network, Fido and Rogers the same, but people will play them against each other thinking that they're getting this great deal. And they're really not, but they're nickeling diming for $5-10, right, here and there. When it comes to their insurance, they don't even they set it and forget it a lot. And we've looked at the pandemic.
Oh, a lot.
Opportunities where people could save hundreds of dollars here and there. And it's just shocking to me that people don't look into it more because there is substantial savings here, more so than you would ever save on your cell phone bill.
Oh, I find with car insurance, when people go to comprehensive only and it's their only vehicle in the house and they don't work from home, how they go to comprehensive only. My thought on that is, and I always say it to them, I'm like, if you wake up tomorrow morning and your car's gone, it won't be replaced. Comprehensive coverage is like under $100 a year. I'm like, how you getting to work? Like, I don't know how a bus system works, but are you like, if you live out in the suburbs, if you don't live downtown where there's a great public transit, is your life really messed up for the next little while till you buy a new car? Can you afford a new car? That kind of stuff. So I think you got to watch the nickel and diming for sure.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So in terms so now we've talked about how like insurance is a perception of being so expensive, which it can be, it might not be. I think it's more about making sure you get the right level of coverage and not the cheapest coverage. But in general, if you're trying to give someone advice on how they could potentially save on their next, auto, home, tenant, or condo policy, what sort of things would you tell them to look for or ask about?
Definitely ask about discounts. Definitely ask if there's anything on there that can add a discount, like telematics or any sort of driving device that you can put in your car. If you're willing, like if you have no problem with it, put it in. Just set it and forget it. You'll get some discounts. You don't even have to do anything for it. With the home insurance is more sticky, right? Because it's based on basically the square footage of your house. So, and how much it is to rebuild your house. But you can shop around for different providers who some offer a better rate. It is true. Some people prefer different cities over other cities. So you will get a better rate with different companies. But I wouldn't skimp too much on a home insurance policy for sure. I really wouldn't. Same with tenants, because if it's gone, it's gone. And it's a very big investment that you made. Like your home is the biggest investment you'll buy. So if you didn't get some of the coverages and God forbid something happens, maintenance and you're not covered for it, it's going to hurt. It's going to be more expensive in the long run when you're trying to replace things or to repair your home. Yeah. Like people try to save money in the house by opting out of water damage in the basement. Any sewer backup. You don't want to clean that. Like that is up to the professionals. That's not something you're going to do properly. Everything in your basement, even if it's unfinished, it's porous. It seeps in there. You are not cleaning that. So
the one of the rebuilding or restoration companies, I had a conversation with him, and he goes, "Well, it depends. Is it what did he say? He says, is it dirty water or sometimes it's just like a thick sludge?" I was like, "Oh my God, I don't think I'd want to go down into any of that."
Now wake up, No, and get up at 7 o'clock in the morning with your coffee, walk downstairs and step in that. You're not wanting to do that. I find that's where the biggest one when people try to save. They're like, I don't want sewer backup. But you do. Like you're going to the second it happens. I had an overland claim on my house a few years ago. That's not as bad. You can clean it, but my basement wasn't finished at the time, so it was easier.
Yeah.
But sewer backup,
I'm gonna take,
you're not cleaning.
Oh, I'm going to take 2 seconds and just say, one, telematics for the people that aren't sure. It's either an app or a device that you can plug into your car that tracks your driving behavior. So you're removed from the stereotype of a particular demographic of driver, and they actually measure your rates. And 2, sewer backup is like if the main drains overflow from the city lines and flow into your place. That gives you that protection. It's not standard on a home insurance policy. And overland is like fast thawing snow or overflowing pools or the
best way to think about it is sewer backup is dirty water or sludge and overland is cleaner water.
With that, I wanted to sort of get into some truths and falsehoods around car insurance, or myths and misconceptions, if that's all right with you. Yeah, okay, cool.
I'll try.
Okay. Unless I tell my car insurance company about a ticket or accident, they won't find out.
That's false. So we pull up your reports.
Okay.
It's on there. You can't hide from it. Yeah, they're on there.
All right, I got another one for you. I don't need to notify my insurer about using my car for ride sharing or delivery services.
Unbelievably false. And if the ride sharing company or delivery company tells you otherwise, they are wrong. On an application for automobile insurance, you actually sign a part saying you are not carrying passengers or doing deliveries. So if that changes, you have to make sure you're with an insurance company that supports it, but you have to tell them before you do it or the claim would be denied.
That'll hurt.
A lot. Yeah.
So if I'm looking at a side gig of Uber or Uber Eats or something like that, then contact.
It's not a no. It's a call first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My postal code does not impact my car insurance rate.
False. Your postal code does impact. Yes.
I was looking at quotes the other day between Ottawa and Kitchener, and the Ottawa rates for the same car were $130, and the Kitchener rates were like $90. So,
yeah, it can make a big difference on your insurance. Bigger cities normally have higher rates too.
Right.
Okay, what about how much you drive? Does that impact your rate?
It does. It's not a huge factor, but it does impact. If your car's parked at home and you're working from home, you're not driving to work, you're going to pay less than the person who commutes because they have more chance of getting into an accident.
Ratehub just did a survey actually and found that 57% of Canadians may have been missing out on car insurance savings because they didn't call their insurance company to sort of say, I'm not really using my car because I'm working from home. So if
it makes everyone feel better, I didn't either. I forgot about it too.
I didn't either, and I mean I am now because I'm up for renewal, and I was looking at my rate, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you drive 21,000 kilometers a year." I'm like, "No, I don't. I definitely don't." But so by lowering it, like 6 or 7,000 kilometers, I'm gonna see some savings. It's not astronomical, but it adds up. It's $50 to $100 here and there. Yeah. It is saving. It's tangible. You can see it. You can do something with it. You could invest it in more shoes.
See? More coffee. There's lots of stuff we can do with this.
Exactly.
Okay, speeding tickets under 15 kilometers do not impact my insurance.
False. Every ticket issued by a police officer impacts your insurance.
Yes, because if it's a red light camera or a...
Yes, and parking tickets don't count. It has to be issued by a police officer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that people don't realize, I think, the most is the red light cameras, that they don't matter. I mean, they matter because you got to pay them, and the points can go on your license depending on the ticket.
And they're way more expensive.
And they are way more expensive.
Oh, that I didn't know.
It's cheaper to get pulled over by a police officer.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're taking our jobs.
What about my car insurance rates only go up if I make a claim?
No, there's a whole factor of why rates go up. Insurance companies have rate increases, not too often, but they do. If you have a ticket, it's going to go up. But your insurance companies just do have, if there's been a lot of claims, then you will see rates go up on renewal.
But even if like an insurance company has a lot of claims that aren't related to you, I guess your rates could also go up.
That's how insurance works, right? It's a shared pool. Yeah.
It's all about risk mitigation, and everybody's paying to
100%. Yeah. It sucks, but it happens. Yeah.
Okay, who determines fault in an accident? The cops or the insurance?
The adjuster.
Sorry?
The adjuster.
Okay.
Yeah. It's never the police officer, but that's a big one when people call and ask. The police officer said this. The adjuster says this. The adjuster. Yeah.
And the adjuster is the people that show up after an accident or something.
From the insurance company, yes. Yeah. They look at everything what happened, who was parked where, who hit who.
This is an interesting one. Car insurance follows the person, not the car.
Yes. So the best example of this is, let's pretend I don't have insurance. Okay. I don't have a car. I don't drive. Matt lends me his car. If I get into an at-fault accident using Matt's car, the rule is lend your car, lend your insurance. So since I don't have insurance or a car, that's now Matt's accident. If I go and get insurance, then Matt can have that transferred over to me. So it comes off of his policy and now it follows me.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Would I still be liable though because I lent you my car? It's like if somebody was to sue you, would I still be liable?
Your insurance company, I think at that point, your insurance company would still be the one that pays out. It would just be on my record now. You wouldn't be paying for me.
Yeah. I just could potentially be in the lawsuit. It's where it all gets tricky and fun.
So we were talking about usage-based insurance or telematics earlier. If I demonstrate bad driving behaviors, my insurance rate won't change.
As of right now, with the insurance companies, they will they'll give you a discount. They won't raise your insurance, do they?
Except
there
has been a policy change.
Oh.
Someone just changed it.
It really hasn't gone into effect yet. I mean, this is a good topic of conversation of what could happen. It was back in November that they did a policy change. And it was that the government opened it up saying that this could happen. Obviously, each carrier has to apply the approval, but there's only one company I know of that kind of has it in place, Travelers. But theirs is different, though. It can go up. I think it says, like, when you start the program, you get a 10% welcome bonus or welcome discount.
Yes.
And after their, like, period where they assess you, you could get hit with a 10% surcharge. So all they're doing is wiping out the welcome bonus. If you prove to be a bad driver, they're not going to continue to penalize you, and you're not going to see your rates skyrocket. It's going to be like, all right, well, you failed the test. You don't get the welcome bonus, essentially.
Yeah, so they're just removing that discount.
Yeah.
You're paying what you would have paid if you didn't put in the telematics device.
And I want to get your thoughts on this, that I think a lot of companies haven't got into telematics because they don't like the fact that they can't charge the customer for bad driving behavior, and they're only rewarding good driving behavior when, let's be honest, most people probably don't exhibit good driving behavior. But I think it's interesting to see that this might breed a more competitive landscape, and we might see bigger swings where, you could get hit with a surcharge, but you could also save a lot more. if the companies are, able to kind of swing you up and down the scale a lot more, as opposed to like within this tiny range, where there might be a 15% savings, but it's not always it's not a massive difference to a lot of people.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the years with companies coming out with more of these too.
What's your expectation? Do you think we'll see more UBI, or will we see like?
I think we'll see more. When I started, just one company. Like I watched them all come out. When I started, there was none, and then one of the companies came out with it. Now you're slowly seeing more come out. It's a good idea. Like I don't see anything wrong with it. I would definitely when my kids get driver's licenses, I think I'd switch to
I want access to the app to see how they did. Hey,
yeah.
You need to brake earlier.
Yes. It's stuff like that. Like if you're at a red light and it turns green, that you're not just slamming on the gas and just racing the guy beside you. Yeah. So
I mean, this also brings up like an interesting topic too. With telematics, usage-based insurance, it's a sign of the industry kind of being progressive. Finally, changing things up.
Finally,
getting a little bit more digital. And we're also seeing in other areas, they've introduced the pink slips that can now be added to your wallet, like your Apple Wallet. So you always have it on the go. Do you have any thoughts on what could be next in terms of like a technical innovation that could affect the way that we utilize insurance?
Well, I like that everyone's starting to go to that your actual whole policy is on your app. Like you can start getting your policy emailed right to you.
Instead of a
it'd be
file
nice to
folder
see,
stored like under my desk that I haven't even opened the envelope. It's like, oh yeah, that's my insurance if I need it.
It's in your email. It's right there. I would like to see your driver's license be able to add to your Apple Wallet. You'd never be able to do it. Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely like to see driver's license get added. And I think it would be like if the insurance companies could put out something like even every 6 months, if they get an app that just pops up and says, hey, any major life changes? Did you get married? Did you get engaged? Did you have a baby? Just those little things that you can answer. And then if you do answer them like yes to any of them, they can be like, hey, maybe call your broker and we'll add this or this. Like, it would be nice, that kind of stuff. But
yeah, like a 5-minute check-in or
maybe
something.
licenses to the wallet
did you
first.
know that?
Yeah, just a little check-in.
Because I don't think I've upgraded or updated my home insurance, and I know that I've renovated quite a bit, and and I'm sure that it's my property isn't probably insured for the amount that it's supposed to be. So that's something that I definitely need to do. And it wasn't until this I renewed my insurance, and then this year just sort of I let it auto renew. And I shouldn't have, because I've been able to find better rates since. But I'm sort of, I don't know, you're locked into the 1 year, and then I don't know what the break penalty is. I haven't looked into that cost, but it sort of leads to my next question. Is like, what are some other, like, if insurance is there for the sudden and unexpected, what are some mistakes that people make with their car insurance? Or like, what do people not think about when they're buying insurance?
Your accident benefits, I find, are the worst. People want to save money and just get the standard accident benefits. And if something happens and somebody is seriously injured, and it does happen a lot, like you do see it, you do hear it. You've heard a ton of motorcycle accidents lately in the news. That's something I think people should discuss with their broker. I think they should go through where they are in life, what happens in their household. How many people do you got living in there? How many people are normally in the car? If you get hurt, what's going to happen if you can't work? That kind of stuff. It's a good one to talk to your broker about. And just to make sure if you get injured that you're going to be covered.
Just so that everybody's on the same page. What are accident benefits?
It's what happens if you get hurt in an accident. So like one of them, the standard for income replacement. Everybody gets $400. It starts $400 a week for your income replacement. Can you live off that? Is that what you do make right now, or do you make a lot more? And if you're the highest earner in your household, if you go down to that, are you guys okay? or should you buy up? Because you can buy up to $1,000. So you just have to make sure that that matches basically what you're making right now, so that there's not a huge gap right there.
And is it a lot more money to upgrade to that level?
No, it's usually like $200 a year, which in hindsight really isn't much. And if you pay monthly, it's really not that much. Yeah, it's just a little bit, but it just covers you in case something happens you can't work, or in case you do get an injury that does end up being life-changing.
Yeah, that's something I never really thought about. Like the $400 a week. Yeah, especially if you're like, let's take an example of somebody who lives downtown Toronto, and you're driving your car. $400 a week times 4 probably doesn't pay your rent. Because to rent a place in Toronto, you're looking at like almost like probably an average $2,000. Let's just take that as a rough idea. Yeah, like, and if you're single, you're definitely screwed then. So that's something that people probably should consider more, is that accident benefits perspective. You know, knock on wood, nothing ever happens, and you know, probably statistically it's on your side that it's not going to happen.
100%.
But if it does, you know, do you have money in the bank? Do you have enough to get by? Is questions you should be asking yourself.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, you have to look at that stuff.
So, and I have to ask now, what about, I asked for car insurance, but what about home insurance? Any mistakes people make, or any things that you see come through, or?
Underinsuring, 100%. Like underinsuring, like I won't lose that wedding ring. Or you see some people that have like bikes, like not like my bike gets me around the block, but you have people that do like triathlons and like it's a really expensive bike. Like they spend thousands on these bikes. And they're like, oh, it'll be fine. It won't get stolen. But it might. It's a bike. Like, it can be thrown in the back of a pickup truck pretty easily. Yeah. So stuff like that. Stuff that you have to look around your house and see what you have. And see what you're going to be really mad if it's gone tomorrow.
So, just to set it up, though, I mean, my home insurance covers we were talking about contents insurance earlier. My home insurance covers contents insurance. And so won't it pay for my bike?
It will not. It will pay. Each company has a special limit for stuff like that, for jewelry, for musical instruments, art, bikes, sports equipment, that kind of stuff. So you have to find out your company's special limit. And if your bike's more expensive than that, or your jewelry's more expensive than that, then you have to get it added onto your policy, which usually also isn't super expensive.
Right.
It's more, like it costs you more, but if it's gone, you're going to get it back. Let's go to look around his house now and see what he has.
I think I'm moving to a home, so I'm just like, I bought a house, as you guys know, and taking possession in October. So this stuff's kind of on top of mind. You know, I finally can get a chance to bundle home and auto, which would be nice to see that benefit. Yeah. But no, I'm just kind of taking stock of like, what am I going to do to insure? How much is it going to cost me? Make sure I have the right level of coverage. Yeah, it's just, I got the benefit of the new build, so I don't have to worry about, like, my property is going to be in the most pristine shape possible. So
it's, well, if it's okay with you, we'll jump into our rapid fire questions.
Oh, God. Okay.
Are you ready, Morgan?
No, but okay.
These are like the easiest part of the interview.
They're easy, I promise. Yeah.
Though I feel like every time I listen to this is where people get tripped up, because you're like, oh yeah, like what is that? Favorite movie.
That doesn't help.
Go with your gut. Trust your gut in this.
I'm just trying to trip you.
Okay.
What is in your wallet?
Oh, fun fact. I don't carry one.
Okay.
I was telling Matt the other day. I shove everything in my butt pocket. I lose my debit card weekly.
I can confirm that she does go through a lot of licenses and
debit cards.
Yeah.
On the debit card, they have a number too, right? On the bottom, like right-hand corner, where it's like
I don't even call. I just walk in. Yeah. Do they?
Yeah, with the amount of debit cards that you've gone through, right? So
my friends have a bet how long I can keep this one. Like I've never made it longer than like a month. So
wow.
I'm gonna check that though.
And so what about a driver's license? If it's not digitized yet, what do you?
I also carry it in my pocket, or I don't carry it sometimes.
Oh, gosh. That's why you want it in the Apple Wallet.
That's exactly why it would make if everything go in the Apple well, it'd make my life a lot easier.
I actually read up
Yeah.
about that the other day. I don't know how it's going to go there because it would be so hard to verify. They'd have to figure out the verification of the facial part is the hard part about that because Photoshop and all this stuff is what the officers were afraid of. So there have to be some sort of official way of getting it and verifying that this is you and all that stuff. It's just
Could you imagine the filters people would put on? Because I would put a filter.
Yeah, like I could see like the police at that point will have to carry like around some sort of photo identification. We're going like future style now. And, can you please look in front of this camera, sir, to verify your ID? Like
QR codes, facial recognition.
We're gonna do some retinal scanners. We're on Minority Report style.
But my skin would be flawless in it.
Let's go with something else. A book everyone should read.
Oh, okay. So I read a lot of sales books, but to be honest with you, so fun fact, my sister-in-law is a New York Times #1 bestseller of romantic comedies. So since she started, I think she's about 10 years now, I've been reading her books constantly. So
sorry, who is the author and what's your favorite book of theirs?
So her name is Elizabeth Grace or Piper Rain. She goes by both. She writes under 2 different things. And my favorite one of hers would be, I think it'd be called Rumor Has It. Yeah. She's like a fun romantic writer. So yeah, I used to read a lot of sales books and stuff like that. And then when she got into writing, I started reading a lot of her books.
What was your, I think we led the show off, but it might be something different when you were like first getting into the job market, but what was your first job and what did you learn from it?
Oh my God. My first job was I used to babysit at a gym that my mom used to work at.
So like parents can drop their kids off and go work out. Okay.
Yes. So I used to babysit there. I got paid like once a month. It sucked. Like,
so are there any lessons like don't get underpaid? Know your worth?
Yeah. Know your worth.
Still wanted to have kids afterwards. So
I love kids. They love me. Like me and kids. Yeah. And then I worked at McDonald's. Vegan, working at McDonald's.
Were you vegan the whole time?
Oh,
yeah. I've never had a Big Mac in my life.
Me working in fast food would have been bad. I would have put on a lot of weight. There would have been a lot of snacking on McDonald's fries, McFlurries. The creations I would have came up with. I had friends that worked in the industry, and the crazy stuff that they did back in the day in terms of just like mixing and matching and trying different things is dangerous. Definitely.
It's easily the most fun job, though, a teenager will ever work because you work with all your friends. Yeah. But yeah, I got saved by not eating meat then. So
yeah, McDonald's
great, though.
Amazing.
All right. What is a commonly held belief about your industry that you passionately disagree with?
Oh, I think that's the thing, though. I think people think it's like super boring. Yeah. Like it's super boring, but it's fun. Like if you actually look at it, we're a very fun group of people. Like we're lovely, all of us. That insurance is just something that we're just taking their money for that they're never going to use. That's another one I hear a lot. I pay this every month and I never use it, but you do. You drove your car today. You slept at your house. Yes. I think those are my 2 biggest ones. That and people who think that they can go drive for like Domino's Pizza or Pizza, stuff like that. And they're like, my insurance doesn't need to know. That one I get into actual arguments about. It's like friends' kids be like, I'm doing this. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, yeah.
Fair enough.
If you had one tweet that everyone in the world was guaranteed to read, what would it say?
Check your policies and make sure you're good. Like, take out the insurance term and look in your house and look at your car and be like, if that's gone tomorrow, am I cool with that? Because if you're not, you should probably call your insurance broker.
I think that's bigger than 162 characters.
280 characters you're allowed.
Oh, is it now? Yeah. So I'm so up on my Twitter game.
I don't have Twitter.
All right, here's another fun one. And this one, feel free not to answer if you don't want to. But have you ever thought about like, what's your number in terms of like your walk away from career? Like, this is a certain number I want to get at. Whether it's your savings? Like, is there a number you're looking at? You're like, when I hit this number, check please.
No, to be honest with you, I'm horrible at doing nothing. So I don't know when retirement type thing would happen for me. I've done really well in insurance. I've done very, very well over the last 10 years. And I'm super cheap. Like, I don't have a mortgage.
Frugal.
I don't have stuff like that. I'm super cheap with stuff. I'm super
Except
frugal.
for shoes.
Except for with shoes. But I don't, COVID showed me that. I'm not good with doing nothing. So I was really lucky when COVID hit that I was able to continue working, because I'm not someone to sit around and watch TV. I'm not that. I work when I travel. So I'll go away and take my computer with me. I'll take some days off, but I'll take some in work. But I don't think there's an actual number yet. There might be in 10 more years. I don't know, but not right now.
Okay, last rapid fire, and it's might be more of a life insurance question. But what do you want to be known for when you die?
What do I want to be known for? Oh my God. I think maybe just insurance and Rockstar all in one. Like, just the coolest human any of you have ever met. And you're like, holy crap, I got to know her. Like, my life was better because I know her.
Morgan is my insurance broker, and my life is better because of it. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Insurance Rockstar. We're going to have to put that on the website.
I think we have to put that on the website.
Yeah.
I feel like we could just Rockstar, like, but inside insurance and outside insurance, just everyday life. Be like, I know her, so I'm a way better person.
I don't have a broker. I have a Rockstar.
Oh, yeah.
See? It works much better that way.
Trying to get insurance, so she's going to be my Rockstar now. So
Just set the bar.
Yeah, so just Rockstar in general. Like,
well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Morgan.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. If people have more questions for you, or we're looking for a Rockstar broker, how do they get in touch?
They can go to our website. So go to rhinsurance.ca. You can contact us on there. All the contact information is on there. Oh.
Awesome. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Beat Chemist for providing us with our music. Find him on SoundCloud. I want to sincerely thank you for taking the time out of your own day and investing it in yourself to get smarter about money. Head over to Ratehub.ca to learn more about making smarter financial decisions. If you want to thank us, please leave a review on Apple Podcast and follow us on Spotify. Thank you for listening. Let's help Canadians choose better with their finances.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views and opinions expressed by Ratehub employees are those of the employees and do not necessarily reflect the views of Ratehub Inc. or any of its sponsors or officials. This is for general use. We're not certified or licensed advisors.
Yeah, we just don't want to get sued.